Retirement was supposed to be the finish line, but for millions of people right now, it's starting to feel more like a trapdoor. With inflation still gnawing at fixed incomes and housing costs that would make your younger self weep, the question isn't just how to retire, it's times where, let's set the scene. Social Security's average monthly benefit sits around $1,800. And in cities like San Francisco or New York, that doesn't even cover rent. We're not talking about luxury, we're talking about groceries, prescriptions, and maybe a cup of coffee without a side of financial anxiety. Here's the quiet truth nobody puts on a postcard. The geography of your retirement might matter more than the size of your nest egg. Where you plant your flag in these next chapters could be the difference between thriving and just surviving on a fixed income. So what's actually driving this crisis? A brutal cocktail of post-pandemic inflation, stagnant benefit adjustments, and a housing market that somehow forgot retirees exist created a perfect storm for fixed income households. Think of it like a game of musical chairs, except someone removed half the chairs and doubled the rent on the remaining ones. Now, there was a moment, maybe 2018, 2019, when retirement planning felt almost optimistic, with low inflation and relatively affordable mid-sized cities beckoning. Then, the world sneezed, the economy caught a fever, and suddenly, affordable became the most competitive word in real estate. The psychological toll is real. People who did everything right, saved diligently, planned carefully, are now second-guessing every decision like they're back at square one. But here's where the story gets genuinely interesting, because some cities are quietly, almost stubbornly, remaining affordable and livable for retirees even now. Historically, the Sun Belt has been the retirement runway: Florida, Arizona, the Carolinas, and those patterns are holding, though with asterisks the size of a billboard. Greenville, South Carolina, and Ocala, Florida consistently rank among the most cost-effective places to retire, with median home prices still under $250,000 and no state income tax on Social Security in many cases. But don't sleep on the Midwest, because places like Topeka, Kansas, and Fort Wayne, Indiana are quietly punching well above their weight for retiree value. A dollar stretches differently when your property tax is $300 a month instead of $1,000. And community healthcare infrastructure in these regions has genuinely improved over the last decade. Here's the misconception we need to torch immediately. Affordable doesn't mean boring, unsafe, or culturally barren. Cities like Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Chattanooga, Tennessee offer art scenes, outdoor access, and diverse dining. They just don't charge you a coastal premium for the privilege of existing. The practical lesson history keeps teaching us is this: retirees who relocated proactively before their budget forced them to consistently reported higher satisfaction and lower financial stress. Don't wait until the math becomes a crisis. Treat relocation research like portfolio rebalancing, disciplined, periodic, and unemotional. Sizing your decision matters too. Don't bet everything on one city based on one article or one friend's experience. Visit for 2 weeks, rent before you buy, and stress test your monthly budget against actual local costs. Because the difference between a plan and a fantasy is usually just one utility bill. The communities that have built strong retiree ecosystems, Brevard, North Carolina, Las Cruces, New Mexico, even parts of coastal Mississippi, didn't happen by accident. They invested in walkability, healthcare access, and senior programming because they wanted this demographic. You're not just choosing a zip code, you're choosing an entire social infrastructure that will either support or silently drain you. And here's the philosophical punchline of all this. Retirement geography isn't about finding paradise. It's about finding alignment between your income, your values, and your pace of life. The retirees who report the most contentment aren't necessarily in the best cities by any ranking. They're in the right city times for them, which is a very different calculation. Discipline in this decision looks like spreadsheets over sentimentality, pilot trips over Pinterest boards, and honest conversations about what you actually need versus what you think you should want. The process of choosing where to retire deserves the same rigor you gave your career, maybe more, because this time, you don't get a do-over salary to bail you out. Whether you land in a sun-soaked Carolina suburb or a surprisingly charming Midwestern college town, what matters most is that you arrive there intentionally, prepared, and with margin left in your budget for life's inevitable surprises. And if you want help navigating the real estate side of that move, finding the right contractors to get a home ready, or connecting with lenders who understand retirement financing, check out our links in the description below.